Mr. Henshaw, as you know, last year the U.S. entered into an agreement with Australia to accept over 1,000 refugees that Australia has refused to resettle, many of whom are from countries of national security concern. When this committee inquired about the agreement, we were told that it was classified. Press reports have indicated the deal was little more than Australia agreeing to resettle a small number of individuals from the Northern Triangle countries. Don't you agree that the American people have a right to know the details of that agreement?
Sir, it is our intention to make public as much as the agreement as we can. The report that you initially referred to was classified and remains classified. We've been unable to declassify it, but nevertheless, we will continue.
Why is that?
Sir, the original report was classified by the Australians, and we have an agreement with the Australians that if they classify a report, it's classified under our system.
So will you commit to supporting the classification of the agreement? Can you find a way to declassify? I mean, we're talking about an agreement that affects the lives of American people, it's not the Australian people. So how do we let our people know what's in that agreement and what we're doing?
I will continue to work towards declassifying the report, sir. I believe that most of the information in the report is already in the public domain.
Yeah, but we need to know from the government, not what's been leaked to the press, but I want testimony on what exactly we agreed to with the Australian. Will you commit to doing that?
I will commit to continuing to work to declassify the information, sir.
Can you please explain the role of the RSCs in the refugee program?
Yes, sir. We use RSCs to enter the original data on refugees who we are considering for resettlement in the United States. We do some early interviewing, but to collect data, biographical data and information from them so that can be later used by DHS, and so that we can enter that into our security systems so that the security reviews can be carried out.
What types of fraud have occurred at the RSC level?
I'm not prepared to give full details. I just don't have it with me on fraud, but...
Didn't you know you were coming to testify
yeah,
before this committee about this program?
Yes.
So why are you not prepared?
I can give you some examples, if you would like, sir. We've had a couple cases where people have we've had a couple cases, sir, where people have have attempted to portray their information incorrectly to RSC members, but in all cases that I'm aware of, the
I would like
RSC
to
has
see a
cut
report of what kinds of frauds. I thought that was the purpose of this hearing, and I'm a little bit dumbfounded that we don't have that as that information. So I would like to know. That's what we're trying to figure out, what's happening with this program, and I would like that information. Mr. Cessna, can you please explain why the decision was made to concentrate on asylum cases as opposed to refugee cases this fiscal year?
Well, as I started to say earlier, but then ran out of time.
Yes.
USCIS is facing a backlog of about 300,000 asylum cases. And the way we look at it, the asylum work that we do is complementary to the refugee work. These are all vulnerable populations. These are people seeking relief under the same standard. And the backlog is untenable. We can't have that backlog persist because people are going years, potentially, waiting for a court date to have their benefits adjudicated. So we want to divert resources from refugee processing to the asylum backlog to reduce that backlog.
So you're just trying to help with the backlog of asylum. It's not something nefarious that you're trying to hurt people. You're actually trying to help people.
No, we want to help them. And,
all right, thank you. The previous administration consistently told us that refugees underwent the most rigorous vetting of any other immigrant. But your testimony notes that several ways to enhance the process for screening and vetting refugees have now been identified. Apparently, that's been news to the previous administration. Can you explain what some of those holes in the process were and what changes have been made?
Well,
Do it quickly.
yeah, I wouldn't call them holes necessarily. I would say that the processes that we have long had in place could have been improved and will be improved. And some of the things we're doing, we're enhancing and increasing the types of information we're collecting from people. We're checking, we're improving our interview processes and the guidance to the people in the field to conduct interviews, to root out fraud and determine credibility. And finally, the types of checks we're doing on people are also being expanded and enhanced to ensure that we get the most possible value from those types of investigations.
Thank you very much.